It's a day like any other. The weather is just right, so you're enjoying a walk down the street as a way to relax. You've taken this path many times, so you're familiar with everything on it by this point. You know which shops are closed for lunch, where people hang out the most at this time of day, so on and so forth. However, today you notice something that's never been there before. A strange purple tent propped off to the side. The fabric on it feels like it's shimmering with an ethereal glow, and as the breeze flows by, you can see only darkness inside, despite the sun shining directly onto it. None of the other passers-by seem to take notice of the strange tent, or maybe they just don't care. Either way, your curiosity is piqued, making you peek your head inside to see what it could be hiding. Once inside, the space feels like it somehow got larger, as the same fabric that you saw outside is now shimmering all around you, draped along the walls of a round room. Despite not seeing any lights or windows, the room you're in isn't dark at all. As you look around, you see that the only things inside are a table with a light purple cloth draped on top of it and 2 chairs on either side. Oh my. One moment, dearie. I'll be right out. You start looking around to try and find where that voice came from, but just then, a figure appears before you in a bright light. Apologies for the wait, my dear visitor. I rarely ever get company in this little tent of mine. Before you is a woman with long, wavy dark hair, standing slightly above you in height and wearing a long purple dress. A mini boater hat with an ornate brooch sits on her head, and covering most of her face is a dark lace veil. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. You may call me Madame Rowe. Here, you may have this to help you remember. Roll R. Shock. Rorschach? Out of nowhere, a card appears in her hand. With a smile, she delicately hands it to you. The card is dark purple in color, with her full name written in neat handwriting that almost feels like it's sparkling off the paper. She then offers you a polite curtsy and sits down on the chair closest to her, and you sit down on the chair opposite in response. I'm quite curious on how you managed to enter the space of mine. Not just anyone can do so, after all. Oh, my apologies. I'm being quite rude. Haven't even asked for your name. May I know what it is? It's Lion. Lion, is it? A lovely name indeed. Now, about you. You feel like such an interesting individual. It makes me want to learn more about you. Perhaps you'd be interested in partaking a little interview of sorts, so that I may do so? I'll simply ask you various questions and use your answers to gauge what sort of air you give off, if that makes sense. Like a personality test. She purses her lips and brings up her hand to her chin as she thinks about your response. I suppose you could call it that. I personally would liken it more to a curiosity quiz. My goal isn't to assign you a personality of some kind, but just to learn more about you, and perhaps relate your answers to other visitors I've met in the past. Does that make sense? You nod your head, and Madame Rose smiles at you once more. Now that introductions are out of the way, why don't we get started? Madame Rose snaps her fingers, and the room suddenly gets darker, with only the sparkles and stars of the fabric around you giving off any sort of light. Be not afraid, my dear. I'm simply creating a more interesting environment for our conversation. Now, let's begin. You find a box of sweets that claims to taste like a favorite treat. When you take a bite, what does it taste like to you? Ooh, comfort food, favorite dish from childhood, your default snack when you're working, food you've never had before, comfort food. A food that helps you feel a sense of calm when you need it most. How wonderful. Just don't use it as an excuse to overindulge, alright, my dear? If you could have your greatest wish granted, but at the cost of losing your humanity, would you? Yes! Madame Rose smiles at you. I see. I wonder just what your greatest wish is for you to accept so easily. Makes me rather curious. You find a wallet on the sidewalk with money still inside. What do you do? Try to find the owner? My, How very noble of you. I hope this is out of the goodness of your heart, however, and not just for the hope of a reward of some sort. I've known my fair share of people in the latter camp over the years. Now this next question will require a little bit of imagination on your part. I'll be showing you a random shape of some kind. Even I don't know what it will look like. All you have to do is tell me what it reminds you of. Madame Rowe lets out a little sigh as she continues. Also, I do have to apologize in advance, my dear. My power isn't very well tuned in this space, so the shape might not be as clearly defined as I'd like it to be. I hope you can still play along and use your imagination for me, alright? Now close your eyes. You give her a nod and do just that, as you then hear her whisper something under her breath. For a brief moment, all you see is darkness, until a shape appears before you, just as she said. Looks like two birds. Two birds. I see. How interesting. You may open your eyes now. You do just that, blink as you regain your focus. You make eye contact with Madame Rowe. At least you think so, as it's hard to tell with the veil on her face, and she gives you another smile. How are you feeling so far, my dear? Not too overwhelming, I hope. Yeah, pretty good. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. It's admittedly easy to get bored of being asked so many questions in a row. I feel like that's enough of a break. Let's continue, shall we? If you were given a chance to witness a moment in your life, no matter when it was, when would you choose? Hard to say. Maybe the past. I still have a lot I need to reflect on. Madame Rowe gives you a thoughtful nod, choosing to see a moment from the past once more. I understand completely. I do wonder if this decision was so you could learn from it, or perhaps to wish you did something differently. Ain't no way I could change anything I've done. The only thing I could do right now is just learn from it. If you summoned a demon, what would you trade your soul for? Snacks! Oh, wait. To go back in time to rewrite reality, to attain power and glory. I mean, if I had to choose, it's power and glory. A strange smirk appears on Madame Rowe's face after you give your answer. Don't mind me, dear. What season do you feel most comfortable in? Autumn. Oh, autumn or fall, as some might call it. The border between the scorching heat of summer and the freezing cold of winter, where all life prepares for the harsher days ahead. I think that just about does it. With another snap of her fingers, the room slowly lights back up. Thank you for answering all my questions, my dear. I've learned a lot about you, and I must say, you're quite an interesting one. She holds her hands up as a mysterious light starts to glow from the space between them. Your answer reminds me of a different visitor I met long ago in a different place. Yes, I'd say you're vaguely similar to them. You remind me of... My eyes! Oh, the scholar. Deep in a dense forest where only spirits and creatures of folklore dwell, I stumble across a lonely little cabin. Inside, I met the scholar, who worked as a medic for the spirits of the forest. While a little prickly, personality-wise, their natural curiosity and desire to learn was what made them such a fantastic and well-respected medic. Well, what do you think? Do you agree with my assumption? I mean, yeah, I guess it's quite similar. I'm glad my intuition is still spot on after all these years. Wait, what the fuck? Just then, Madame Rose seems to fade in and out briefly before you. As you rub your eyes, assuming you were just seeing things, she lets out a defeated sigh. Oh dear, seems I've already spent too much time here. A pity, really. I was enjoying myself quite a bit because of you. She gives you a sad little smile, then continues. It's a shame to say farewell so soon, my dear, but unfortunately, I'll have to be on my way now. Could you be a dear and do one last thing for me? You hesitantly give her a nod. Thank you. Now just close your eyes for a moment. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. Just trust me. After giving her a quizzical look, you close your eyes. Thank you again for indulging my admittedly selfish requests, my dear. I hope we can see each other again soon. You hear her snap her fingers one last time, and then the familiar sounds of the sidewalk start resonating in your ears once more. You open your eyes again, only to see that both Madame Rowe and her entire tent are no longer there. The street returns to how it was earlier, and the passers-by act as if nothing is out of the ordinary. As you look around, you realize you still have something in your hand, Madame Rowe's card. I should call her. When you look down at it, however, you notice that underneath her name is some writing that reads, "See you soon, dear."
Hello? This whole situation was rather strange, but you feel that somehow, somewhere, you'll get the chance to see Madame Rowe once again. And maybe get a smooch. Maybe not get a smooch.
Okay. Anyway, that was Madame Rowe's Curiosity Quiz. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. And please do play this for yourselves, because I'm pretty sure like everyone's playthrough of this will be very different depending on your personality. It is available for free. And do check out some of the devs' other games. I've not really covered them yet, but this dev does create a lot of fantasy visual novels. There was one I wanted to pick up, but I haven't had the chance to actually check out, which was The Mysterious Thief, Forget-Me-Not. But yeah, they've got an incredibly cute art style, and I would highly suggest you guys to check them out if you have the time. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.